So Nike finally released their trailer for Caitlin Clark's sneaker.
Nike transformed Caitlin Clark into a snake in a single, terrifying advertisement. Her iconic shoes sold out in a record-breaking 5 minutes after that. And almost instantly, a horde of online critics went completely crazy. This was more than a marketing initiative. It was a well-planned power move that formally established a new sports queen. By doing this, a brutal war that had been going on just below the surface was revealed. And it all began with a commercial that was more of a statement than an advertisement. What precisely did Nike display to the world that sparked such a ferocious and explosive response?
Heard already, I'm pretty sure you have. Nike has released a new Caitlin Clark commercial, and they made it their business to show love and show out for none other than CC. Now, we know fans has definitely been in odds with the company ever since signing Caitlin Clark. A lot of people feel as if they put Caitlin Clark on the back burner. I don't know, man. I'm a Nike fan. I know a lot of people going to disagree with me on this, but I think Nike was strategic with their Caitlin Clark growth. People could be mad about it or feel whatever way they feel about it. But one thing I can tell you is that I feel as if they were strategic.
The commercial that broke the quiet resembled a scenario from a big-budget movie more than it did a product advertisement. It was a proclamation. Caitlin Clark opens the video. She was really focused. She's putting on a pair of eye-catching black and gold Kobe 5s while sitting in a dimly lit room. She has long referred to her shoes as her magic. But a terrifying metamorphosis starts as the laces tighten. Her eyes, which are renowned for their competitive fire, change into ominous slits that resemble snakes. It clearly channels the famed Mamba attitude of the late Kobe Bryant.
Clark and Nike are officially dropping Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever player-exclusive Kobe 5s in just a couple weeks. So this shoe was first seen being worn by Caitlin and was thought to be a colorway made just for her up until just a couple days ago, where Nike's official images of the shoes got leaked and the announcement was made saying that everyone will now have a chance to wear her.
The prestige of the entire production was palpable. The emotional score, the elegant cinematography, and the top-notch visual effects were all A-list. This was the type of high-end superstar treatment that is usually only given to a select few cultural icons, such as LeBron James or Michael Jordan. Women's sports had been given the marketing scraps for decades, frequently receiving advertisements that seemed forced or uninspired. It wasn't a scrap advertisement. It served as the centerpiece and a declaration to the world that Nike was at last prepared to accept the people in charge.
We got something for Caitlin. We got Mamba Caitlin. We got Mamba Caitlin. Where is the Mamba Caitlin? There we go. We had the Mamba logo. We have Caitlin on demon time right now. But yeah, it's good to note that they finally announced it as Caitlin's, as a Caitlin logo. Or sorry.
However, no significant shift in contemporary sports is uncontested. A predictable chorus of critics emerged from the woodwork to express their outrage for everyone who thought the commercial was a powerful and long overdue tribute. The same stale arguments that have followed Caitlin since her undergraduate days were all over the internet. Why is everyone focusing on her? They sobbed. How are the other, more seasoned players doing? For a rookie who hasn't shown anything yet, this is just too much. These criticisms were not made in good faith. They were the sounds of gatekeepers who were upset that someone had challenged their ideas about how an athlete, especially a woman, should succeed.
People felt the type of way, about Caitlin Clark getting these PE shoes. A lot of people felt as if she should have her own signature shoe, which she should. She very should, but guys, I don't think there's any player that got a Kobe PE, bro. Like, do y'all know who Kobe was in the basketball world, bro? I'm just saying, like, Kobe didn't, allow, even his family, I'm pretty sure, is not just going to give his signature shoe to just some anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, other NBA players ain't even got.
It was an odd, almost deliberate resistance to accept the fact that truth was right in front of them. There is more to Caitlin Clark than just another player on the team. After a risky delay, Nike finally had the guts to market her as the icon she already is. She is the face of women's basketball, a commercial powerhouse. Fairness was not the cause of the backlash. There was opposition to change at the heart of it. The free market was rendering its own judgment on the issue while the gatekeepers and haters were occupied with crafting irate tweets. And it made a quick, harsh, and final decision. You need to look at the minutes, not the hours, following the release of those Kobe PE sneakers on Nike's infamously challenging SNKRS app in order to fully understand what transpired. The first 13,000 pairs that were in stock vanished. They weren't simply sold out. In less than 5 minutes, they disappeared. As a digital feeding frenzy developed, the $190 retail price faded into a charming, faraway memory.
These things is some fire. I'm telling you, where there's smoke, there is fire, and these things is hitting so hard. And who got a bot? Who a shoe plug? Because I need 2 pairs. I need one for the sneaker wall, and I need one for my feet, because these things is hitting right here, and no, I don't want to pay $600 on.
Pairs were already being sold for $375 on eBay and other resale websites in less than 2 hours. The top indicator of sneaker worth, StockX, revealed an average sale price of $365 at the end of the day, with the most sought-after sizes skyrocketing to an incredible $800. This was no marketing team-produced excitement that was meticulously crafted. This was the unadulterated, uncontrollable, and unquestionable power of the Caitlin Clark effect, a consumer demand force that had not been observed in the sport for many years. The sneaker drop and commercial's unexpected, explosive success only served to draw attention to a more complex and turbulent story that had been going on behind Nike's closed doors. It was more than just a case of a postponed marketing strategy. It was a sign of a PR catastrophe that was on the verge of blowing up within. The negative comments made about Clark and fellow WNBA player A'ja Wilson added to the tension. Nike was facing public criticism for promoting Wilson's line while neglecting Clark, but everything changed when a shocking revelation was made. Wilson acknowledged that she had been aware of her own trademark shoe agreement for 2 full years. She kept this information a secret while her camp made what many saw as passive-aggressive remarks and subtweets, which seemed to stoke a competition by suggesting that she was being passed over for the new rookie.
So it's finally here. Caitlin Clark sneakers from Nike is finally dropping. She was signed to them last year, and the sneakers is a year late in my opinion, but nonetheless I'm excited because these sneakers is finally coming out. But what does annoy me a little bit is that this is a collaboration with Kobe. Now, Kobe, respect to Kobe, the legend, rest in peace, great basketball player. But in my opinion, Caitlin Clark is a big enough star and she's creating her own legacy. So I feel like, at least for her first sneaker, it shouldn't be a collaboration with any other player, dead or alive, in my opinion. I feel like Caitlin should have, for her first shoe, had her own original design just for her, no collab.
The drama was staged. Then, 15-year Nike veteran Jordan Rodgers exposed the company's internal turmoil to the world. They had the single biggest needle mover in all of American sports since Michael Jordan, and somehow convinced themselves they needed to slow play this, he said in a harsh public critique of his former company. He revealed Nike's reluctance to get involved in the either-or debate, something they never do with its male superstars, such as Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kevin Durant, and LeBron James, who all have trademark lines at the same time. The corporation that Rodgers exposed was paralyzed by dread. An enormous creature stumbling over its own feet.
Stock price since 2021, it is down nearly 60%. Your executives and the people who are making these decisions, their stock options are worthless. Meanwhile, you have the single biggest needle mover in all of American sports since Michael Jordan, and you have somehow convinced yourself that you need to slow play this. Let me show you Google Trends search traffic for 4 female basketball players. There is one who only rivals Caitlin Clark, and that is Angel Reese, and you do not have her. She is over at Reebok. I am so confused as to how you would be so invested in the WNBA for several years, and you have been doing great work to try to elevate and uplift that league and many of the athletes there. But this seems like you have convinced yourself that this needs to be an either-or conversation. And we never have an either-or conversation in the men's sports. You have like 10 signature athletes. Half of them don't deserve a signature.
Caitlin was busy doing what she does best, which is to statistically transform her sport, while this internal drama was unfolding. You need to look past the shoes and the social media commotion to comprehend why Nike made such a drastic and costly change of direction. The phrase, Caitlin Clark effect, isn't merely memorable. The data-backed tidal wave can be measured. WNBA viewership reached its greatest levels in 24 years while she was playing. Her Indiana Fever games drew an incredible 1.09 million viewers on average. In contrast, games without her drew an average of only 414,000 viewers. That is an increase of 163%. Her final collegiate appearance, the 2024 NCAA Women's Championship game, received 18.9 million viewers, more than 4 million more than the men's final. However, she was placing persons in seats rather than simply eyes on screens. The league's attendance increased by 105% as a result of her performances. Her 41 games actually made up an astounding 33.5% of the WNBA's season-long attendance. This player wasn't making a difference. She had transformed herself into the needle itself. It was a brilliant marketing move to base her comeback ad on Kobe Bryant's legacy, but it was much more than that. Anyone who had followed her journey could relate to her move, which had its roots in a rich and genuine past. This was no haphazard marketing tactic. Ever since her record-breaking days at Iowa, Clark has been wearing Kobe's signature sneakers religiously. They are frequently referred to as her babies and her miracle shoes. It wasn't an actress who was portraying the Mamba mentality in the advertisement. It was a sincere acknowledgement of a shared spirit. A ferocious and outspoken advocate for women's basketball, the late Kobe Bryant coached a new generation of athletes, including Sabrina Ionescu and his daughter She. He would have recognized Caitlin's unwavering will to succeed, her killer instinct, and her obsessive dedication right away. There was more to the commercial than just a shoe sale. She was being validated as the heir to that fiercely competitive fire, and it was depicting a spiritual passing of the torch.
I thought that these might not perform well, but just wait until I show you the stock numbers on these. Not only that, but apparently her jersey is in high demand too after she publicly defended Angel Reese. I didn't think that this colorway was going to do too well at first, but pre-sale is saying otherwise. These are currently pre-selling for over $300 and the retail is only $190. They drop on June 30th and the total stock on Nike US is just 13,000 pairs. For comparison, the Kobe 5 Eggplant had just 30,000 pairs on Nike.